All right. It is 6:01, and I will call the special Newcastle Select Board meeting to order. I don't have any amendments to the agenda. I'm gonna, unless if there are any public comments on items not on the agenda, again, not on the agenda. None. All right, moving on. We have item 4A, new business. Postpone the 5/27 select board meeting. That's Memorial Day. So do I have a motion to postpone the May 27th select board meeting until the next day, which is the 28th, the Tuesday? Moved by Rufus, seconded by Tor. Any discussion on that?
We're sure the space is available that day.
I don't know.
Too.
Think so. Yeah. All right. All those in favor, and we have to do roll call, so you have to say aye or yes.
Aye. Yes.
Aye.
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 All right. That motion passes 5-0. All right, moving on to 5A, unfinished business. And this is to discuss the May 13th, 2024 special town meeting, warrant articles. And yeah, so I think we're going to start discussing that. I guess I should probably read the, oh, what's that?
May I provide a clarification statement
Yep,
first?
you can.
Thank you. On Monday, it's April, right? We're not in May yet. On Monday, May 22nd, our planning board chair made the select board aware of a potential deficiency in our land use zoning around any future firearms stores and their proximity to schools. Monday, April 22nd was just 2 days ago. So here we are on the 24th. Repairing this requires an update to our zoning code. That process takes several months because of noticing requirements and meeting schedules before a final vote by the residents of Newcastle at a town meeting, or in this case, a special town meeting. In Newcastle and many other towns in Maine, those residents who attend town meetings serve as the legislative body. They're the final decision makers on topics including ordinances, including moratorium ordinances. On Monday, the select board debated whether or not to add this as an article to the annual town meeting for June 17th. Final decision was by a unanimous vote of the members present was to instead hold a special town meeting on May 13th. And that's what we're here to talk about. Tonight is simply to approve the language that will be in the special town meeting warrant articles and the language in the moratorium ordinance. And I provided about 20 copies, and they have all been consumed. There's a page that has the warrant articles, including some noted changes that I'll ask the board to modify, as well as the ordinance has a few language that our attorney provided to modify. So what is a moratorium? I see it as an ordinance or local law that hits the pause button on any specific issue or community concern to give staff, appointed officials, and our elected officers time to develop responses for future consideration. So a moratorium sunsets after 6 months. It can be extended an additional 6 months by the select board. It can also be rescinded once a solution is found and approved at a town meeting. And town meeting is those members of the community who attend the town meeting are the legislative body and make the decisions on behalf of the town as a whole. So there's a small few caveats about tonight's approval of what's in the agenda packet. The language drafted and published yesterday has been slightly modified. So what you saw online, there's now a version out that has some green language with some changes that are being proposed. And I've included copies of the revised version for the board. I've given them electronic version of that. And I'd asked the board to replace with and approve it as modified. Additionally, given the feedback we received yesterday and today and the turnout tonight, this meeting space, the fire station community room, may not be adequate for a special town meeting on May 13th for this particular vote. So we've called around and confirmed both Lincoln Academy has room at their gymnasium for 7 p.m. that day. And Great Salt Bay school cafeteria at 6 is also available. So this would be another change that the board would need to consider tonight. I will say that the draft that's out there currently says the fire station building. So, I haven't talked to the fire chief about whether or not the bays would be available for us as a third option. I just feel that the concerns by the number of people that are here tonight may be ballooned a bit come May 13th. So, thank you.
Yep, no, that's great. So, I guess I think I'd like to just start by reading the article that we're talking about presenting at the special town meeting. I'm just gonna read it. I won't, again, there are copies of the ordinance floating around so everyone can see that, but I'll just read it. Read the article. Shall a town enact a moratorium ordinance prohibiting the review, consideration, or issuance of any permits or approvals for any applicant seeking to have or use a business that buys, sells, or trades firearms, while the town considers municipal zoning and land use regulations regulating the location of such uses? So that's the article that we're talking about for special town meeting. And I guess I'd just open it up to the board to discuss, see if there's any discussion.
So this moratorium, would it have any effect on existing businesses?
No,
So it's just,
this is just new businesses. And I think that's the point of this, is just to give the legislative body of the town the opportunity to weigh in on this, and then give them the opportunity to then vote on an ordinance once that's put together. It takes time to put that together. So this is just hitting the pause button. So I guess, yeah. Yeah,
So Kevin, the fire station building that's noted in here, I mean, this is the warrant, so what do we do?
You can amend the warrant to change the location.
Should we pick a location now
yeah,
before we
Yep.
vote on the warrant?
Yeah, and I'd also ask that you approve the revised. I gave you track changes for the
Right.
changes. I just want to make sure that it's clear that what was posted yesterday is not necessarily what you vote on, but what I've just provided you maybe an hour ago with a couple of small changes.
Yeah.
is what we're looking at doing. So I'd look for a motion to replace the warrant with the revised one.
Yep.
And I have clean versions of that for you to sign. And I have a clean version of the fire station, Lincoln Academy, or Great Tall Pay. All three are available for us.
okay.
Just different times though.
Yeah.
The Lincoln Academy is available at 7, mostly because they got sports.
Yeah.
Until then, so that wouldn't be available till 7. GSB's till at 6. We technically have a meeting that night too.
Right,
So if we're off-site, we'll then come over here to have our regular meeting.
right. Yeah,
And I guess you could do that all as one motion.
so is there any discussion on location? Thoughts on timing, thoughts on still?
I mean, if we start at 7 and then at the
We're
end of
not-
the special town meeting have to come
Yeah.
here for our regular select board meeting, that pushes it late.
Yeah.
I prefer to start at 7, but it might make sense to start at 6, because that's gonna be,
Yeah, I think there's gonna be some discussion.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I think having it here at the fire station is problematic because we don't have seating for, even if we.
It just
move
takes
the
a lot,
fire
it
truck
takes
down.
it takes a lot to set up.
Yeah.
We've done it before. It takes a lot to set up. I mean, this was sort of the thought process that I had for proposing it on our annual town meetings. We're already set up and we've got the space and we've got all the room. So I don't know if that's an option too to consider. We can still amend our annual town meeting warrant. Or is that too problematic?
No, I and I'm sorry, I didn't introduce Emma's, our deputy town clerk. She's here to mostly take minutes for tonight, but I did ask for her to do some digging into the, whether or not that's allowed.
Yeah.
That is,
As long as it hasn't been posted publicly for more than 7 days. After that, 7 days and more.
Yeah.
You can't change anything.
and we haven't posted it yet.
Right.
So you do still have the option, but.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like there was a split vote there.
Right. No, definitely is. So is that still the wish of the board to continue with the special town meeting and then we can,
So it's my wish and I'll just add just a little more consideration.
Yeah.
The annual town meeting happens after school session's out.
Yeah.
I think it would benefit all schools that have that have parents that this would directly impact, that it'd be best to do this while school's in session. So
what is that?
why?
Yeah.
Well, because you get into summer, people leave on vacation, they might want to weigh in. On this, and they won't be available to vote, so. So I just think that the benefit is to do this. Do it on special town meeting as soon as we can.
It does seem like a hot button issue,
Yeah.
and maybe sooner is better.
So I think what we should maybe consider then is postponing our select board meeting for that night. Because it's logistically, it's too much to shuffle, look, and even shuffling from GSB to wherever, and I'd much rather, I like keeping our meetings in town.
Yeah.
So
That,
I think if Lincoln Academy is available at 7 o'clock, I think we should move towards that, and then we should just
postpone the
postpone our
select board
regular
meeting.
select board meeting, or we cancel it. I don't know. We don't even need to postpone it. We could just skip it.
Just skip it because you just
Skip
added
one.
it to the day after Memorial
You
Day.
know, we could
Sure.
just skip one and then get one day off. So I mean, we're still working, right? We're still doing
It's-
stuff.
It's your board.
So
You guys decide that.
I think that might be a more reasonable
Yeah,
solution. That way,
makes
it's,
sense.
again, if people have comments and they want to discuss things, then I think that's a good time to do it. You wouldn't want to feel rushed. Because Kevin packs our meetings. He's got them.
Don't worry, the last one in May will be a 4-hour meeting and we'll have a lot of fun.
And the other thing that we could do if we wanted to still have our meeting and still approve warrants or anything like that, we could just hold our regular select board meeting after the special town meeting at Lincoln Academy.
I mean, that might make sense.
So maybe if we just ask the
Powers that be.
powers
Just
to be to
stick
keep
around for a little while.
it short. No, you just keep
Oh,
it. You have to
I
keep it
keep it
short.
I just got a nod from the
Yeah.
powers that be.
Yeah.
I think that'll work.
So if that's good, then we don't even need to postpone our meeting. So,
There we go.
or cancel it.
Right,
We'll just do a short one.
right.
There we go. All right. So yes, my motion is to approve. Do I have a motion to approve the warrant for special town meeting Monday, May 13th, 2024? With amendments on the location being at Lincoln Academy. Are we at the gym or cafeteria? Gym's better? Okay, I like the cafeteria.
Yeah, but that's not what I wrote on the
Oh,
warrant you
okay.
gotta sign.
Yeah,
It's the gym.
okay, so
Gym
gym
it
it
is.
is. It's already been decided. Powers it be. At the,
At 7 PM.
at 7 PM. Yeah. The-
And the version that was brought tonight, it's a revised version based on what our attorney.
Right. The revised version,
Thank you.
as revised. Do I have a motion?
Yes.
Okay, but that was three at once. I'm gonna give it to Rufus and Tor. Although you had the delay, so you were probably actually before anyone else. So,
Exactly, yeah.
But,
That's okay. I won't be, my feelings aren't hurt.
all right. Is there any further discussion on this? All right. Is there anyone with a burning desire to speak? If we can keep it relatively short, again, the time will be at the, so if it's around this article, you may, all right, you may approach. Come on. You know the drill, man.
Hey, we need a bigger room.
Yes, much bigger space. David Levesque, 30 Clinton Street. So I just want to get you before you voted because technically, I think your warrant is just allowing to vote for a moratorium ordinance, but is this what you're gonna, is the vote on this proposed ordinance? So shouldn't it say vote to enact the ordinance accompanying the ballot or something like that? So specifically refers to this one, because if you just go by this language, to me, it could be any ordinance that purports to do a moratorium. So I would suggest that you rework the language to refer specifically to this ordinance. Otherwise, I think it is attackable, for lack of a better phrase. And then if we go with that easement, I do have a question on the appropriateness of a retroactive clause there. I'm not quite sure if that's constitutional. If you haven't checked it out with council, I would,
We have, that's why it's in there.
and, okay,
Reasonable retroactive, not 10 years ago.
okay, all right.
The decision made by the board on, it's clarifying that the decision already made by the board on Monday, April 22nd, gave them the power to say, we're going to pause today because we're calling the special meeting and we'll work on the warrant articles.
Okay, I think that makes sense to me. It's just not,
Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
talking about 10 years ago retroactive.
right, right. And there was an action taken that night.
There
on
was
the
to
thing.
call for the special meeting. So therefore, the motion tonight is not to call for the meeting. We already did that.
Right.
Tonight is to set the warrant.
Okay, that makes sense to me. But I think there should be a better connection from the warrant to the proposed ordinance. And I know it was easy when we did like the parking, we referred to a parking ordinance proposed but that went through the process of hearings and everything too. So I'm not quite sure how we would refer specifically to one draft, if we say dated or proposed.
I think if we added dated to both the town of Newcastle adopts moratorium dated blank blank as follows.
Yeah, or is approved the evening of tonight,
Yeah,
because it could change from tonight to the vote,
So David, the first sentence says, shall the town enact a moratorium ordinance? The reference is implied that this is the ordinance that's being enacted.
No, it implies that you would do an ordinance. It didn't say what the content of that ordinance would be.
Well,
Here, this is what we're saying that the content would be. And I would think it would just be a better link, so it's a solid, ordinance. If it was just more clear that it's this one in particular.
Think if it's, because it's attached to the document, is that the town of Newcastle Meeting adopts a moratorium ordinance as follows. That's what's being referenced.
I think we're okay, David. This has
Okay,
been-
but that was
this
my
has been run
concern
through-
and,
This has been run through our attorneys.
yeah,
I think it's okay,
okay,
but thank you.
all right. That's just,
No, it's good. Crossing T's, dotting I's is important. All right. Is there any other people? Sir, yep.
Yeah, all of a sudden, there's way too much, looks like to me, the way I look at it. I have a thing here that's the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. And, before you get any further, there's places where they changed that was, let's see, they amended things and it was all, I thought there was too much of one thing all at once. It scared me. I don't know, I still here don't see what's going on. Are you guys? I don't know, I just like it showed what's going on and that's about it, I guess.
Yeah, I think the, again, I think the concept behind this is simply, especially from the board's perspective, our job is to allow the public the chance to have that conversation. And so that's simply what we're doing tonight, is we're just providing the time and space to have that conversation. And again, I don't think it's anyone's intention or idea or there's no grandiose plan to ban all firearms from Newcastle or not allow any sales in Newcastle. I think it's specifically the proximity to the school. We regulate a lot of other things, based on that. So I think
don't
that's,
see that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
that's good.
And so I think that's the plan. That's the plan from us, is just to, again, give the citizens of the town the opportunity to have this discussion, decide whether they want to enact the moratorium or not. They don't, it's, everyone will have the chance to vote on that, and then from there, follow suit, and if there is a moratorium enacted, and the town will work to create language, and that'll be presented again to the voters to then be approved again. So it's not I don't think it's really a scary thing for anybody. We're just trying to fix a hole in our zoning, that's all. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Any other comments? Again, you'll have plenty of time in the future. All right. Any other? All right, all those in favor of approving the warrant for May 13th? Start with a roll call. Start with on your side of the room, Karen.
Yes, aye.
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 All right, motion passes 5-0. I think that's it. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Con, by the second. Seconded by Tor. All those in favor, starts on your side of the room.
Aye.
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 Aye, but I missed you guys.
See you next week.
Yeah.
All righty.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.